Welcome to my channel, The Daily Speaking Tree with Shino Mary. In a time steeped in expectation for a Redeemer, a radiant soul was brought forth, Mary, the Blessed Virgin. Her birth, commemorated by the Church on September 8th, is one of only 3 birthdays celebrated on the liturgical calendar, alongside Jesus and John the Baptist. This unique honor stems from her singular mission in salvation history and her profound holiness from the moment of her conception. Her nativity is heralded as the hope of the entire world and the dawn of salvation, signifying a glimmer of light breaking through the darkness of sin. Mary's story begins with her devoted parents Joachim and Anne. According to a traditional text from the 2nd century, Joachim was a wealthy member of one of the 12 tribes of Israel. He and Anne were deeply grieved by their childlessness, which was often seen as a sign of God's disfavor. They prayed fervently for a child, vowing to dedicate the child to God's service. God heard their incessant prayers, and an angel appeared to both Joachim, who had gone into the desert to pray, and Anne, announcing the birth of a girl named Mary. This promise underscored God's constant presence in Mary's life from the very beginning. Anne's pregnancy was a miraculous gift granted beyond childbearing age through ordinary marital relations, a testament to their unwavering faithfulness. What truly made Mary's conception extraordinary, a belief known as the Immaculate Conception, was that she was preserved from original sin from the first moment of her conception. This doctrine, formally declared by Pope Pius IX in 1854, had been implicitly held in the Church for many centuries. As the firstborn of the redeemed, Mary was born to be the mother of the world's Savior, the spiritual mother of all people, and the holiest of God's creatures. Upon Mary's birth, her mother Anne made a sanctuary in her infant daughter's room, allowing nothing common or unclean to enter, recognizing the child's special holiness and separating her for the Lord. According to tradition, Mary was raised in her parents' devout home until the age of 3. At 1 year old, Joachim hosted a grand feast, inviting priests, scribes, elders, and all the people of Israel to bless Mary, where she was declared blessed among all generations. At 3, her parents fulfilled their vow by taking her to the temple in Jerusalem. There she was cared for by the high priests, dedicated her life to God's service, and was said to have been fed daily by an angel. She spent her childhood immersed in prayer and weaving the temple curtain. This dedicated upbringing in purity and piety was foundational for her future role. Mary's calling to holiness was evident from her immaculate conception. She was set apart by God from the beginning, destined to be the mother of the Redeemer. Her profound spiritual awakening and mystical encounters, as described in works like The Life of Mary as Seen by the Mystics, prepared her for this divine mission. These experiences deepened her holiness and granted her insight into cosmic truths, leading her to pray fervently for humanity's redemption. The pivotal moment of her life was the Annunciation, when the Archangel Gabriel appeared to her, greeting her as favored one. Though initially perplexed, Mary's response, "Here am I, the servant of the Lord, let it be with me according to your word," Luke 1:38, was a profound act of faith and obedience. This fiat made salvation possible and demonstrated her complete trust in God's will, even in the face of uncertainty. Mary's most significant contribution is her pivotal role in the history of salvation. She is recognized as the new Eve, whose obedient acceptance of God's will reversed the sinful disobedience of the first Eve, thereby granting access to the life lost by the first Eve's transgression. Through her, God's plan to redeem humanity began to unfold, leading to Christ, the light of the world. Her life, marked by humility, obedience, and faith, provides an example for all believers. Mary's life was not without its trials. Her parents, Joachim and Anne, endured the social disgrace of barrenness for many years, praying for a child. Their unwavering faithfulness eventually led to Mary's miraculous birth. Even Mary's purity was questioned. Traditional accounts detail that after her virginal conception, Joseph was anguished, unsure how to respond to Mary's pregnancy, as it appeared he had failed to keep her pure. Mary had to repeatedly proclaim her innocence, stating she had not been with any man. The priest also subjected Joseph and Mary to a bitter water test, which confirmed their innocence. These narratives, written in the 2nd century, aim to defend Mary's honor and purity against accusations of Jesus' illegitimacy that circulated at the time, thereby redeeming the honor of Jesus and early Christians. Mary also faced the adventures and hardships of travel. In her late pregnancy, she undertook a long and difficult journey from Galilee to Judah to visit her relative Elizabeth. Later, she and Joseph made another arduous journey to Bethlehem for the Roman census while she was close to giving birth. After Jesus' birth, they became refugees, fleeing to Egypt to protect Jesus from Herod's soldiers. These journeys were not just physical but spiritual tests requiring immense faith and resilience. Her greatest struggle, vividly portrayed in Pietà imagery, was her profound suffering during the passion and death of her son. Mary faithfully persevered in her union with Christ, demonstrating courage and steadfastness amidst the trials. She overcame these challenges through her unwavering faith, perfect obedience to God's will, and heroic commitment to her mission, serving as a model for all believers. The sources do not explicitly detail Mary's physical death, but Catholic doctrine includes her assumption into heaven, meaning she was taken body and soul into heaven at the end of her earthly life. This doctrine, like the Immaculate Conception, was held implicitly by early Christians and later declared as dogma. In heaven, she is believed to radiate God's beauty and splendor eternally and intercedes for the Church militant. Mary is not canonized in the same way as other saints, whose feast days typically mark their death. Because her unique holiness means she entered the world sinless, the Immaculate Conception. Instead, the Church views Mary as having a unique dignity among saints, entitling her to hyperdulia, an extraordinary level of veneration. This veneration is expressed through various devotions, including prayers, art, liturgy, hymns, shrines, and other practices. The sources primarily highlight Mary's own miraculous Immaculate Conception and sinless birth as a divine act, rather than her performing miracles during her earthly life. She herself was the recipient of God's unique grace and power. While later apparitions associated with Mary like Lourdes and Medjugorje are linked to miracles, these are distinct from miracles performed by Mary during her lifetime as described in these sources. This feast day, also known as Mary Mass, is traditionally celebrated on September 8th. It marks the end of summer and the beginning of autumn in some traditions, linking it to Thanksgiving celebrations such as the blessing of fall planting seeds by wine growers in France, Our Lady of the Grape Harvest. In some parts of Austria, it's drive down day for livestock with festivities and charitable giving. The date September 8th was likely chosen because the Eastern Church began its ecclesiastical year in September, and Mary's birth is seen as the beginning of God's plan for salvation. It is celebrated exactly 9 months after the solemnity of the Immaculate Conception on December 8th. Across the globe, this feast is celebrated with various customs. Families might host birthday parties for Mama Mary with blue and white decorations, cupcakes, and prayers. Children may offer gifts like prayers or acts of mercy. Special meals often include blue foods. In India, it is known by names like Monty Fest or Nalpiravi, marking the harvest season and involving abstinence, special prayers, and festive meals. In Malta, it coincides with Victory Day. The Milan Cathedral is dedicated to the Nativity of the Virgin Mary, and many other churches bear her name. The Philippines even observes September 8th as a special working holiday. Mary's birth is seen as a joyful prelude to the gift of humanity's salvation. It signifies a moment of universal joy, highlighting her purity, obedience, and essential role in God's divine plan. The celebration reminds Christians to emulate her virtues and seek refuge and comfort in faith and absolute trust in God's will.